My name's Amiel Courtin-Wilson and I'm a filmmaker. I'm here in Adelaide for the Adelaide Film Festival for the premiere of my first drama feature film, which is a film called Hail.
And how does it feel to be a filmmaker on the eve of your world premiere?
It feels extraordinarily exciting, actually. I mean, it's the most exciting thing right now, I think, is the fact that at this festival of this year in particular, there's a real sense for me anyway that there's a bunch of peers who have got either their first feature docs or their first featured narrative works. And having been a filmmaker for nearly 14 years, it's a lovely kind of culmination coming from doco to now, make my first feature film. Something I've been wanting to do in terms of narrative work for, 23 years, since I was 8 years old. So it's a good feeling.
And you're a bit of an old hand at festivals because of the success of some of your other work. Does the feeling, on the eve of your film being shown for the first time to people, is that feeling the same, or is each time is it quite different?
I think every time you screen a film for the first time, or screen a film to an audience, it's different. I mean, the interesting thing for me is I've previously made documentaries, feature documentaries, so in a way I think you can, if you choose to sort of hide behind your subjects to a degree. So there's something far more vulnerable in a way about showing a fiction work. Yeah. Hail's a love story. It's a story primarily about a man called Daniel Jones who was released from prison, reunited with his partner Leanne Letch, and it's about an immense love between the two of them. It's a crime story, it's a story of revenge, it's a story of grief, but it's also a celebration of life, and it's a story of great humour. And it's a robust portrait of life in all its unwieldy messiness, and in that sense, I hope that it crosses over a lot of boundaries. I really wanted to tell a story that was about the criminal element in Australian society that wasn't reductionist and that wasn't a series of caricatures, and that embraced the full spectrum of these men and women that I'd gotten to know, their intelligence, their humour, their violence, their vulnerabilities, and in a as authentic a fashion as possible. But I wanted to offset that with something very grand, and so rather than making a kitchen sink drama or something that was purely about the small the minutiae of their lives, I wanted to sort of set that against an almost mythical kind of love story, in a sense of something quite epic, which in many ways is something that lives within Danny. So Hail is about the sheer scale of the piece. It's also about the transformation that he undergoes over the course of the story. So from rain comes hail, and hail melts again to water, and there's something very elemental about Danny. So that was the connection to the title. Daniel Jones is a series of contradictions. He's a wild man who's led a very brutal life. He's also a very gentle man. He's extremely intelligent, jail cell philosopher. He's someone who's equally comfortable talking about extraordinarily brutal street brawls on the streets of St Kilda growing up homeless, as he is talking about Oscar Wilde and quoting Latin. So in that way, he for me is endlessly fascinating. And as a performer, stepping into the lead role in a feature film, having never acted before except for a little bit of theatre work, he is phenomenal. Like I'm kind of humbled and blown away by his performance. In fact, all the performances in the film have been kind of remarkable. Danny Jones was going to be at the premiere, along with his partner Leanne, who's the other lead in the film, along with a bunch of their friends who are coming over from Melbourne for the premiere. And the film is entirely made up of non-actors or first-time actors. So he's only seen the film once. I showed him a few days ago. It was literally sort of 4 days before the film was premiering, so there was sort of very little he could say about it if he didn't enjoy it. But I think he was, it's difficult enough, for an actor to watch their own work, but I mean, for someone to watch their own acting in a context that is literally kind of a heightened version of their real life, I think it's, there's going to be a lot of unpacking for him to do over the coming months.